Darren Lewis of the Daily Mirror joins us to take a look at the Friday morning newspapers. Darren, very good morning.
Good morning
to you. Goodness me, Greg Dyke's commission has created quite a stir, hasn't it? And also given the headline writers some licence this morning.
Absolutely. B for Bonkers is the headline on the back page of the Daily Mail. As you say, Greg Dyke won't like the look of the papers today. There is a universal derision for his proposals yesterday. You can see from the subdeck there just what the Daily Mail thinks of it. Fury over Dyke's plan for the B teams. The move's going to put clubs out of business. And, you know, there's a sense in the papers that he simply hasn't thought it through. He's been very bullish, very on the front foot. And he's done a wave of interviews since the proposals were announced yesterday, defending them, but loads of people shooting them to pieces, finding holes in them, not least Martin Samuel on the inside. This is just one of the many arguments that people have against it. The idea of parachuting players from the top division, young players, into the lower leagues. What about financial fair play? How do you square up a player earning, say, £25,000 going down to League One, where they already have very strict financial controls, having agreed them among the clubs themselves? The inside of the Daily Mail, their coverage is very good, and you know, they've got the chairman of Peterborough United saying, look, it's all about me, me, me. You know, what about from the Premier League to the rest of it, everyone else? To hell with everyone else, can't be allowed to happen. Lots of young chairmen from the lower leagues getting together and saying either we weren't consulted, or we don't agree with this, or it's to the detriment of our young players or to our clubs as well. And the interesting thing is, when you look at the proposals, where is the suggestion of a winter break? Where is the suggestion of improved coaching standards? Where are the kind of things that people have been crying out for several years? Yeah. The feeling in the papers is that this is a half-baked idea that they've come up with, possibly to appease the footballing community here in England, possibly because they wanted to show that, you know, that they wanted to have something to show for the time that they've spent on this. But certainly, if you look across the papers, and there are two or three correspondents who have quite strong views, you'll see that all of the papers have kind of shot it down in flames, really. Look at The Sun. This is this is Stephen Howard's piece in The Sun, and basically what he's saying is that the proposal comes at a time when the England squad contains more young English players than at any time since 1998. He says, how on earth will young players improve by playing at a non-league standard when everybody knows that that's only going to happen by playing against better opposition? I want to go to the Daily Mail as well, because, sorry, the Daily Mirror, my own paper, Oliver Holt saying in there, sticking a few Premier League B teams into the lower leagues will be, and this is a really nice line, like injecting poison into them. It won't help invigorate them, it will just kill them. Maybe Dyke, who was once the chairman of Brentford, doesn't care about the lower leagues anymore. What angers Oliver Holt most is that Dyke and his, as Oliver says, elitist cronies appear to have no understanding at all of the passion of league fans. And they are views that are kind of echoed throughout.
Is that right? Is that right across the board? Is there any counter argument to say that there's some good in them?
I think there are a couple of papers that do recognise, you know, the plans to tighten the loopholes and work permits, and there are some newspapers that say, look, there is merit in some of the plans that are being put forward, but overall, this primary plan to establish a B League, when countries across Europe are kind of doing away with them, Frankfurt and Leverkusen in Germany, they're not interested in them anymore. And there are a number of, because they just say there's no interest in them. They say that from their point of view, they don't believe that they help to improve young players. They believe that the big clubs are better at nurturing and developing the young players than putting them into a B League. Castilla in Spain, they're about to be relegated. There is a feeling that as far as a B League is concerned in this country, if you look, and it's interesting, you know, Greg Dyke, he did quote lots of figures yesterday, but they were last year's figures. They weren't this year's figures. You look at a team like Liverpool who've developed Sterling and Henderson and so many other young players. You look at Spurs who have got good young players coming through there. I think there is a general feeling that the commissioner wants to shoehorn statistics in to suit what they're trying to do, but overall everyone's looked at the whole plan and thought this is not going to work in any way, shape or form.
Well, Darren, let's talk about Sam Allardyce's future now in the Daily Mail. Not enough that he's got them Premier League status for next season, clearly.
No, I think they've really got to be careful what they wish for, West Ham fans, because Sam Allardyce, if you were in trouble, if you're in relegation trouble, the man that you would really want to get you out of it is Sam Allardyce. But as Sammy Mockbell says here, it's looking very grim for him. Final game of the week of the season on Sunday, they play Manchester City. Hoping maybe for a bit of revenge after losing so heavily to them in the Capital One Cup. But it looks as though they may sack him because fans are not happy with the style of football. Now, I'm going to take the fans' view for a second and say, well, look, if you look at the signings that he's made, £15 million on Andy Carroll, OK, we know he's a good striker, but you know, has he really delivered on that investment? Been injured for half the season, hasn't scored. If you take away the goal that went in off the head of Harry Kane against Spurs the other day, hadn't scored before that since, I think, the beginning of March.
Cardiff away, yeah.
Sunderland away. And I think as far as the other signings are concerned, they overpaid for Matt Jarvis. They didn't need to do it Downing. They should have signed another striker last summer and they didn't do so. Set against all of that, Sam Allardyce's organisation, his patience, his experience has kept West Ham in the Premier League when a lot of people felt that they maybe should have parted company with him. I still think he is the right man for West Ham, but a lot of West Ham fans think that they say we don't want to pay for the style of football that we're seeing on a regular basis at Upton Park. To be fair to him, after the game last weekend, he said, look, next season I'm going to invest in more talented players, players that will excite people. But I think that may well have come all too late, judging from what the papers are saying this morning.
All right, well, let's push it on to transfers that may occur this summer. Darren, Adam Lallana dominating the back page of The Sun.
Yes, copping £20 million bid for Lallana. They want to get this one tied up. The battle for his services has begun because we all know how highly talented he is and the impact that he's made at Southampton so far this season. Liverpool want to move in to see if they can pinch him ahead of clubs like Manchester United, possibly even Chelsea. I think that he would be a great fit for Liverpool. Imagine a front four of Lallana, Suarez, Sterling and Sturridge. Pace, creativity and goals as well. He would be a great signing for them. And they would take his game to another level as well. Because I think he's done, we all know what he's done at Southampton so far. Yeah. But I think going and playing alongside the likes of Suarez, who has improved everyone around him, you have to say, and under Brendan Rodgers as well, who's taken the game of Jordan Henderson to another level as well, I think that may well improve him going forward.